50 million subscribers, a company built on innovation in telecommunication and was a leader in the digital space of cell phones. Sprint has built their company on a fast growth method by acquiring companies that have similar technology as them, according to the history of Sprint. They have made massive strides in the landline space by having a merger with MCI, which was a large landline company, which gave them the opportunity to make one of the biggest investment mistakes in the life of Sprint, which was Nextel. Nextel was running on a different network, IDEN, and Sprint was running on CDMA. The two networks was not compatible. So they had to decide the future of the two networks with millions of companies on both networks and look into the future of how they were going to use 4G. Reviewing the rise and fall of Sprint due to bad investments, layoffs, and technology and infrastructure, let's preview some of the success of Sprint, bad investments, and failed recovery. Let's take a look at the success of Sprint. Sprint was built on two different pillars. One pillar was focused on landlines, where they laid fiber optic cable coast to coast, and the other pillar was focused on cell phones. The merger of MCI gave Sprint a lot of equity to make investments. One of the key investments that they had was the retail imprint that they had with Radio Shack, according to Bloomberg, Radio Shack to Sprint. With this fast growth and deciding what to do with Nextel led to a doomed strategy. Nextel investment was cost $36 billion in stocks and cash, according to the Kansas Star. The two networks was not compatible, so Sprint made the executive decision to move customers over from Nextel to Sprint and provide them with devices on a cheaper plan, which cost them close to $32 billion when it was all said and done. The current infrastructure of the cellular world, everyone was using 4G LTE, which what we use today. Sprint decided to use 4G WiMAX that was spearheaded by Clearwire, according to CNET. Sprint WiMAX effort doomed to fail. WiMAX ended up being very spotty, and there was a lot of customer service issues, which put the company at risk. Addressing those failures with Nextel and WiMAX led to the acquisition of Sprint by SoftBank, a Japanese company. They ended up acquiring 80% of the company. They wanted to give Sprint the opportunity to make those investments um, and follow their direction. If not, they was going to step in and make executive decisions. After all the debt was assessed, and especially from the Nextel investment, they had decided to abandon WiMAX and go to 4G LTE. And to attract new users, they invested 30% into a streaming service called Tidal. After making their evaluation, there was no traction, and Sprint was still in the hole. So they decided to begin proceedings with a merger with T-Mobile. In conclusion, Sprint was an innovative company by building a network for over 20 years, being relevant up until those rash decisions. Their focus was being the biggest company without assessing all the risk. Sprint finally sunset this year, 2024, and the full merger is completed as T-Mobile. Failure is only the opportunity to begin again. Henry Ford. And Sprint never had that opportunity to bounce back from all the mistakes they have made. Thank you.